Hello everyone, welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith. In this unboxing video, we are checking out Cartographers, the Collector's Edition from Thunderworks Games. Now, I'm coming to this one late. In general, I never played the original game that was released. This Collector's Edition allows you to not only add more into that experience, but also house what was previously released in the first place, and that's all of what I missed. So now I'm really excited to check this out for the very first time, knowing that this can be played solo. So without further ado, we're going to check out the back of the box, find out what the game is all about, and then we're going to dive inside, check out all the components to help you make an informed decision as to whether or not this might be a fit for you. Recent reports confirm that your efforts to expand the Royal Council are progressing without friction amongst the southern tribes. The Sebek has become a hub of loyalists to Nalos. My heartfelt congratulations. It may also please you to know that I've created passageways to two of our neighboring planes. Afrill and Nebulous are now open to your royal cartographers. I expect they will make many new discoveries to aid your efforts. We will need more Dragolium if I am to continue my work, but you must convince Durgus to forge it. Unfortunately, some who live west of the gate have not taken kindly to our efforts. Bands of Dragul rebels ambush us regularly as we do your good work. I encourage you to send an envoy as well as your bravest to protect the cartographers from this growing threat. As I mentioned earlier, the game is solo playable. It mentions 30 to 45 minutes to play, and it says right here the contents that it includes in this collector's edition. So it's worth mentioning that everything that came from the original game of Cartographers can also fit inside this collector's edition, so there will be extra space provided. When you first open up the box, this is what you're going to see. A whole bunch of colored pencils here, which I'll go ahead and just remove for now. But as you can see here, they're already sharpened, ready to go. We also have, of course, some of the rule books and booklets here in the box, as well as some of the maps. Here is a really quick look at everything pulled out of the box. As I mentioned before, there is room here to store everything in terms of this game that's been released to date inside this collector's edition box, which is a really nice feature. You've also got things broken out. So of course you have the rule book here, a small booklet we'll go through in a moment. You'll see a map pack here that consists of map pack 1, 2, and 3. The colored pencils I mentioned earlier, but also some regular pencils here as well. You've got all these different major map packs, and there's 75 sheets on each of these pads. Up there in the top left hand corner, you also have a couple decks of cards. Now, jumping straight into the rulebook here, you'll see an introduction laid out. The overview states players are going to compete to earn the most reputation stars by the time the 4 seasons have passed. Each season, players draw on their map sheets and earn reputation stars by carrying out the Queen's edicts. Before the season is over, the player with the most reputation stars at the end of the winter wins. On the right-hand side, you're going to notice something that might contradict what I mentioned earlier around the number of sheets on a pad. There is a pad inside this box for the heroes, and that is going to be 100 sheets double-sided, and that one's larger than those map packs that I was talking about. There's 3 of them in the box. There's 75 sheets on each of those, so there's a difference there in terms of the number of sheets, but they're all double-sided. I will show you those in a second closer up, but let's keep going through the rulebook. Moving right along, we find the game setup, which is comprised of 10 steps to get the game to the table. As you can see from the illustration in the bottom right-hand corner, this game is not going to take up a major footprint on any table. You'll be able to play this game in some pretty tight spaces. It's also worth mentioning there are play mats in order to allow you to keep things organized even easier, and they're available actually straight from the Thunderworks store right now. Once you get past setup, then of course you need to know how to play, and that's where it drops into the different things you'll be doing during your turn, like exploring, drawing. It shows the terrain types mapped out here, like forest, village, farm, water, monsters, heroes, and mountains you'll be dealing with. And then it talks about how you're going to go ahead and draw these shapes in the correct way. I've gone ahead and skipped a couple of pages past some more explanation around the gameplay, moving towards the end of season, end of game, and scoring cards, but I want to get to the solo section for those interested. We are very, very close now. Wanted to stop here to show you there are explanations about the cards you're going to run into as you play through the game in case there's any confusion, which is really helpful. And at the end of the rulebook here, we find this solo mode where it says, set off as a lone cartographer to explore the western lands. In solo mode, you attempt to earn prestigious title from the Queen at the end of your journey. Gameplay has the following changes, and it walks through this in terms of the setup changes. There really is a very minor one. There's changes to ambushes and scoring as well. You'll see here you can rate yourself on a scale after your score comes in. Either you'll be an oblivious ink drinker, or you could end up being a legendary cartographer. Here is a look at one of the map sheets. This one is double-sided. This is the one that has 100 in the pad, so all kinds to go through. I will show you guys the opposite side of one of these as well, so maybe what we'll do is we'll flip this over to the back, and I'll just lift the back up a little bit so you can see what's on the reverse side. It looks like this. So these are double-sided. There is a whole bunch of them, but it's not just this you're limited to inside of this box. Here are the 3 different sets of additional content added into this Heroes Collector's Edition. So you've got Map Pack 1 here, which looks like this. You have Map Pack 2, which looks like this. And you have Map Pack 3, which looks like this. And of course, as I mentioned before, these ones, 75 sheets each, double-sided, so I'll show you the opposite side as well. Opening this up, this is what this one looks like. This one over here looks like this, and this one on the opposite side looks like this. So even just with what comes inside this Heroes version of Cartographers, the Collector's Edition, there's already a whole bunch that you can enjoy here. But of course, if you have all the extras that aren't even included in here from prior entries in the series, you're going to have even more to enjoy. And of course, all of it will get back into this box at the end. The one thing we haven't talked about yet in this video are the packs of cards. Let's open those up and take a closer look at them. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up this unboxing for Cartographers, the Collector's Edition from Thunderworks Games. Let me know in the comments down below, for those of you that have been playing this one, or maybe a previous iteration, because, well, there's been a couple releases around this game already, and a couple different map packs and expansions added in. If you've been playing this at all in a solo capacity, I want to hear about it, so let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this one. And if this video intrigued you to potentially check it out, and you haven't even heard of it to this point, well, I'm really glad to hear that. It's also worth mentioning that recently I did a showcase for Role Player Adventures on the channel, which was from Thunderworks Games, which was actually the primary driver and reason that I was intrigued enough to look at what else they had, which then led me to this, which is on the table right now. My first time diving into this particular game. So very excited to see how I actually enjoyed it as well, but would love to hear from the community first in terms of how you guys are enjoying it, or even if you're not enjoying it, what your thoughts were around it. But hopefully this helps you make an informed decision on whether or not this game is for you. If you're not part of the Patreon community at Rolling Solo, definitely recommend you join in. You get early access to videos. You also get special perks, again, depending on what tier you're at. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep on rolling solo.